Let's start looking at the next topic.
Yeah.
The big thing that the Ravens organization is going through right now is who's going to be the offensive coordinator. And we've had a ton of interviews, and there's a lot of different philosophies. Should the Ravens go for an established guy? Should they go for a young, superstar? Should they go for the Ravens organization? Should they go for an old head coach that is no longer a coach in the league and maybe bring them back? People have brought up, now he's hired, but Frank Reich was, brought up as a potential suitor. Joshua, what's your kind of thought process in just the hiring process of the Ravens? Where should they be looking? Should they be looking for youth creativity? Should they be looking in college? Where do you think they should go?
Um, I'm going to say they should be looking for someone that doesn't know John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh needs to actually get to know this guy. That's how I want to start it off first. But other than that, I do feel like we need to go with a younger guy, possibly. When I heard them reaching out to Todd, UGA's coach, I was like, yes, they were top 5 in offense previously, but at the same time, it's like, yo, you had well, the offense wasn't bad. The offense wasn't bad. You have good run game with UGA. You did a lot of play action, but also you was running with Stetson Bennett too, who is a mid quarterback, one of the older guys, possibly going to this year's draft. At 26, 27 years old, he's almost going to be like the next Brandon Whedon, down with the Cleveland. So who knows who may pick him up. But I'm loving the fact that he is reaching out to a lot of QB coaches, pass game coordinators, wide receiver coaches. That does show that they are committed to actually implementing a passing game. The thing that worried me the most is when I hear them say, "Oh, we do want to keep Greg Roman philosophies." If you're saying that you want to keep Greg Roman philosophies by having multiple tight ends on the field and just one wide receiver, let's scratch that. And also, the formation with having Patrick Ricard at the slot and make in motion, scratch the hell out of that too. If anything, the philosophy is being run first. That's Baltimore's philosophy for the past 27 years. I respect the organization if they would have said that. So I definitely feel like continue going for the younger guys, and has an understanding of what it means to be having a complete offense. The only person that I'm surprised they haven't reached out to is he the pass game coordinator for the 49ers, Slowick?
Slowick. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised at that because reaching out to Eric Bieniemy, I feel like you're not going to hear nothing about that. Eric Bieniemy is in a good situation. If Andy Reid was to retire after the Super Bowl, they're not going for a new head coach. Well, they're not going to go out to get a new head coach. Eric Bieniemy is pretty much just waiting his time for Andy Reid to retire. That's a good situation. He'll have locked in on a pre-Huff go in QB. He's been implementing a lot of offenses. You have the weapons and things of that nature, and he knows the guy, so he wouldn't have to relearn a whole new system or teach a new system to a whole bunch of new players that he has to get to learn. So them requesting an interview with Eric Bieniemy, I think that was kind of dumb on our part. But I actually do like the Chad Hall and Dan Canales. Dan Canales, I believe I'm saying his name correct.
I think it's Dave.
Oh, Dave, excuse me.
Dave Canales, I think it's Canales.
Just what he did with Geno Smith. We all know Geno Smith was, that guy that's supposed to have been that guy. But he showed it this year. What he put up about 4,000 yards, a whole bunch of tutties for Seattle, got him in the playoffs, and unfortunately couldn't finish it out. But hey, you got to take some wins and losses here. Chad Hall, like you previously brought up, for the past 3 seasons, I believe Stephon Diggs had over 100 receptions. Gabe Davis said he's also a strict guy because he actually went to Air Force, and at Air Force he played wide receiver and running back. So, with that background alone, I feel like Chad Hall will understand with him being like 35, 36, how important the run game is and also how important the passing game is too. And you mix that up with a T. Martin and Keith Williams as well. I think those guys can get the juices flowing where we can have a sustainable offense where it's not stagnant moments, but also we can make adjustments in game to put us still in a winning position.
Yeah, and I really like the idea of Chad Hall or Dave Canales. I think
Hmm.
very opposite sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
I love Dave Canales for his ability because Seahawks are all about stretching the field. It's
Hmm.
pound the rock and then stretch the field, hit those deep shots to your fast wide receivers, which the Ravens have some good deep threats. They just
Yeah.
don't throw it to them. And then Chad on the other side, it's like Buffalo. They don't run the ball very much, but I don't think that's necessarily because they don't want to. I think it's more like their roster is not designed to run the ball outside of Josh Allen.
Yeah.
But he with Josh Allen, it wasn't, being from the system, obviously he wasn't calling the plays or designing them. It was all about like, hey, Josh Allen, you can scramble. Like it wasn't like design quarterback runs that, they do that on third and short and things like that. At the goal line, they'll maybe run QB power.
Hmm.
But, a lot of their runs are also, runs are quick screens, right? Quick throws to wide receivers to get them in space. And that's something that like we have the players to do. Devin Duvernay, very good in space. The running back, get it to J.K. Dobbins quickly. Um, you know, Buffalo is a very unique team in the way that they approach the grinded out mentality because it's not the just pounded up the middle. It's, hey, let's throw quick throws and hit guys when they're open and get them in space. He also utilizes the tight end a fair amount. Dawson Knox isn't the best tight end, or the Bills offense utilizes the tight end a fair amount. Just as kind of like they throw them downfield, they use them short, they use them deep, they use them across the middle. It's not just one specific role. So like I think both of those guys are really good, and I agree, Joshua. I think going young is the way to do it because I feel like you know if you go young, they have a chance to prove themselves, and who better to prove yourself with than with Lamar Jackson? Like it's just such a good opportunity for a young coach to be able to come in and really start their career because Lamar Jackson's a player that could win MVP any year. Any year he can win MVP. So if you come in and your quarterback wins MVP, look at that head coach opportunities right there. Oh, hey, you came in and the Ravens were the 1 seed in the AFC because they have a great offense and defense. What
Hmm.
happens? Oh, look at that head coach opportunity. So, I agree. I do think we should go young. Everybody, if you're watching on YouTube, comment down below your thoughts, player or coaches that you like.